What is up, guys? So today we're going to talk about my recovery story. I'm going to talk about the detox that nearly killed me, the last one that I did, and how I got through it and what it was like. I'm not going to go on about JDP anymore. There's really no point. He's too boring, isn't he? I mean, the last video I made yesterday with the glasses on, that was supposed to be a funny thumbnail, you know, and of course he's making fun of the thumbnail, thinking he's caught me like in a trap or something. It was supposed to be funny. Who else comes on here who can take a serious subject matter, talk about that, whilst making fun of somebody else, whilst wearing big comedy glasses? Who else could do that on here? There's nobody else doing that. So that's what it was, and I posted a funny picture, and it was kind of like a homage to one of my favourite moments in horror movie history, from the movie Psycho, where Norman Bates looks into the camera and he says, "We all go a little mad sometimes." So that's what it was, that's what the picture was, and of course it went straight over his head, and he was talking about, I look like a panty sniffer. Now, how do you get to that from that? You know, he's always been on YouTube for a while now. He's always talking about wrong-uns and bike-uns and panty sniffers, and it's like, how do you get to panty sniffer from a funny horror movie picture? And what I would say is, it's kind of like a projection thing, isn't it? It's like that kid at school who was used to always call everybody gay, and then it turns out he was gay. It's that type of thing. He's probably had some experience in it, in the old panty sniffing himself. But anyway, I'm not going to go on about him no more. Today it's a serious video about my last detox that nearly killed me. I like to talk about this every couple of months to put it out there, because you might have heard me talk about it before on this channel, but I need to talk about it, and I get messages off people like every day. If I'm out and about on my bike, or if I'm in town shopping, people see me, they come up, they want to talk to me, and they say, "Oh, do you know what? I love watching your videos about addiction, about recovery. My cousin is struggling with it, my daughter's struggling with it." You know, I get messages of concerned parents, and they feel helpless, they don't know what to do. So watching my videos, it gives them a little bit of understanding. They can see what I've gone through, so they can see what their loved ones are going through. And I think that's why JDP got so much hate when he did the video to me, calling me a baghead, saying that he terrorizes bagheads, you know. And that didn't go down well, because addiction and recovery is devastating, and we all know somebody who's been affected by it. So people watch my videos and they get a little bit of comfort. Maybe they're struggling now. Maybe they've beat addiction and now they're struggling with anxiety and depression. That's why I share my struggles, so that people can see, they can relate, and maybe get a bit of comfort from it. And if there's somebody whose loved one's on drugs, they can watch my videos and get an understanding about what they have to go through on a regular basis. So yeah, my last detox almost killed me. It's amazing that I'm still here. And I mean that. There's so many times where I should have died, but I didn't. And at my worst, before I got clean, I was massive. I was fat as a pig. All my ankles and legs were swollen and bruised. I could barely even walk. I fell out of bed once and I couldn't get up. I was that fat. I used to struggle in the streets. And people can't imagine me being that fat, but trust me, I was. I've lost over between 6 and 7 stone. And I can't understand how I got into that position, because I think about it now, and I think waking up to a can of strong beer and 10 Valium, and then going hunting for crack, waking up to that every single day. I think about it now, and I think, how did I get like that? What was wrong with me? Why couldn't I get out of it? But that's the reality of addiction. That's what it's like. It gets you. It turns you into someone that you're not. It turned me into a thief, a drug dealer. It turned me into a horrible person. And now I'm clean, and I'm doing this channel, and it's allowing me to rediscover who I was before I got into that world of addiction. So yeah, I was in a real bad, horrible state, and I used to wake up every morning, and as soon as my eyes opened, I would cry, because I just couldn't take it anymore. You know, I didn't want to die, but I couldn't live in this miserable world anymore, knowing that the rest of the day I'm going to have to be ridiculed, embarrassed. I'm going to have to run around finding crack and run around shoplifting, No, it's horrible. It's miserable existence. So as soon as I opened my eyes, I was miserable. And then I would go out and I would do my drugs, you know, I'd walk down the street, people would be shouting, smackhead, baghead, you know, pointing the finger, taking photos to upload for social media to other people, to laugh at them, can laugh at me. And that's what it was like every single day. And it took me to a point where I didn't want to be here anymore. So I decided I've had enough. I'm going to end myself. So I've told a story before. I drank, the plan was I was going to drink a bottle of vodka, I bought a load of morphine and a load of paracetamol, and I was going to take all the morphine to numb my body and then take them paracetamol and just drift off into nothingness. And I had made peace with death. And all I could think about was what's the easiest, most painless way I can do it? Because I'm hurting everybody around me, I'm a laughing stock. What's the point, you know? So that's what I did, and I drank the vodka too fast. I couldn't, you know, I was like seeing 3s and 4s. I couldn't get the pills out, and by the time I'd finally got them out, it was all over the floor. And then once the morphine had gone, it was started kicking in, and then I was trying to get the paracetamol out, and there was pinging everywhere, and I ended up passing out on the floor and waking up covered in sick, and like a scene from a movie, you know, pills everywhere, sick all over me, and that was my rock bottom, one of many, and I sat on the end of the bed, and I don't know who I was talking to. I said, "What do you want from me? Why won't you let me live? You won't let me die. What do you want? You know, why can't I get well?" And that's where I was. I couldn't see a way out. I've always had a plan, you know. Well, I'll keep shoplifting, I'll get caught, and then I'll get clean in prison, or you know, I can go over to my dad's house or my mum's house and do my detox there and try and get. But this time, there was no plan. There was nothing. I was too far gone. I thought, I can't get clean. I'm too fat anyway. If I get clean, because I was on alcohol, Valium, Xanax, pre-gambling, gabapentin, and crack every single day. And I thought, even if I stop drinking, I've got to get off the Valium. Even if I get off the Valium, I've got to get off the gabapentin. Even if I get off that, I've got to get off the pre-gab. And if I can get off of all them, then I'm still a fat cunt. So, you know, what can I do? There's no way of doing it. And I was literally at the end of my rope. And then when I tried to finish myself, that's what planted the seed, you know. It's like, right, now it's time. You've got to get clean. And I was dying anyway, because it's not a good idea to stop drinking, because you can die. It's not a good idea to stop Valium, because you can have seizures. And I didn't really know about none of this back then. But the way I thought was, well, I'm dying anyway, so I might as well go down fighting. If I carry on, I've probably got 2 months left at max. So I either get clean now, fighting, trying, or I just die. Anyway, you know, from addiction and alcohol. So I decided that. Then that's how long it takes to get clean. It takes 2 seconds when you make that decision and you say, no more. That's it. I've had enough of this. I'm taking my life back. You're not, you know, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going to fight, and I'm going to go through, and I'm going to get whatever miserable pain, misery, whatever I have to do. If I have to walk through walls, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to get clean. And I made that decision, and I knew it was going to be miserable. I knew it was going to be bad. I had no idea it was going to be that bad, but it was so bad. I was hurting in ways that I can't even tell you, because I've never felt it before. I had tremors from the alcohol. It's horrible. And the first night, it wasn't that bad, because I didn't know this, but I know it now. Valium and Xanax are long lasting. So for the first night, it held me, you know, because it's long lasting. So the first night, I did struggle to sleep a bit, but it wasn't that bad. And then the next morning, I woke up really early. I thought, I've been worrying about this for nothing. This is going to be easy. And then around about dinner time the next day, that's when I started getting stomachache. My head started hurting, and I could feel it, you know. And then by midnight, I was in full-blown detox. And honestly, I can't explain how bad it was. I can't find the words to say it. Because what I should have done is tapered down, you know, done it properly, gone to rehab, done one at a time. But I didn't have time. I was dying. I had to do it all at once. And that first night, the worst part is that you can't sleep. So when and I mean not sleep at all, not even 1 minute. So, it lasts all day and it lasts all night as well. So you're suffering twice as long. One day seems like two because it's day and night. And that's why it lasts so long. And you know that you can go away if you take some drugs or whatever. So yeah, the first night wasn't that bad, but the second night I was in full-blown detox. And the worst part is you can't sleep. And because you can't sleep, you can't eat, you're not getting rest, your body's not getting nutrition from food because you just eat it and puke it straight back up. You can't eat anything. So because you're not getting the sleep, you're not getting rest, you're not getting nutrition that your body needs, you end up in a cruel twist. Your body's like sensitive, like when you've got a hangover and you can smell things what you wouldn't normally smell, you can hear things, you're very sensitive because you've not been getting the rest and the nutrition, so everything hurts twice as much. And I was awake for it must have been probably about 10 days with no sleep at all, and suffering. I had stomachache, I was gipping, I was shaking from the alcohol. And you can't get comfy. So you'd think, just lay down there and take it, but you can't because you're twisting and turning, then you're sweating your red hot, and then you're freezing cold, and your head's pounding, and oh my God, it's so fucking horrible. You can't even watch telly because you can't concentrate, the lights are really bright, and all you can do is just twitch and twist and turn, and it's horrible. And it lasts for ages, and if all you want to do is just have one nice little sleep, just get your head down, have a bit of sleep, and then go again. But you can't, you're wide awake all the way through. And it was like that for about a week, and then it started getting a little bit easier, tiny little bit. And I took one bit of comfort from it was, this is the worst thing anybody could ever go through. I can't feel any worse than this, but I can take it. I'm getting through it, I'm making it, I'm surviving. Just keep going. And honestly, if I'm painfully honest, if I had the strength to get up, to go to the phone, to ring a drug dealer, to go out and meet him, I probably would have done, but I couldn't. I just had no energy. I was exhausted. I was in a horrible, twisty mess. And I was sat like that for about a week, and then it slowly, the physical symptoms eased up for a little bit. And then it was, I still didn't feel well, but at least I could lay down, and I didn't have a headache, I didn't have stomachache, I just had a general feeling of unwellness, like you don't feel comfy in your own body. And I was so tired, I was so exhausted, I didn't even have the energy to pick the remote up, to turn the TV on and off. And I was just laid there, and it was probably about 10 days in, and it was halfway through the night, and I was watching, I think Forrest Griffin was on the TV. I wasn't really watching it, but it was on, and then all of a sudden I woke up. I was like, wow, I've just fell asleep, and it was like, fucking hell, like hitting the lottery. I was like, yes, finally a little bit of sleep. That's the first step on the ladder to getting clean, sleeping on your own. And it was only for probably 10 minutes. Because you think that your body would be so exhausted, you just crash and sleep for a week straight, but it don't work like that. It comes back slowly, and you have these mad fucking hallucinations, horrible hallucinations. For me, it was knives, always getting cut and slashed, and that's from prison, from all the slashings we've seen in prison. And this is the long-term damage, what people don't really talk about. And it's because of people like JDP, ridiculing it and making fun of it. So kids these days, they don't want to talk about it because they don't want to be embarrassed. But I think people should be commended for talking about it. But yeah, the hallucinations, always knives and blades. And I finally fell asleep for that fucking 10 minutes, whatever it was. And I remember for some reason, I had a weird dream about the fun-loving criminals. That song, that do, stick 'em up, punk, it's the fun-loving criminals. Do. I had a dream that I was running around town with them for some reason. But I woke up after that 10 minutes, and I was like, fucking get in. I'm ready now, I'm coming, I'm getting better. And man, it must have took 3 months before I could even, go outside and sit on the front step. And then when you do get to that point, now you've got all the the anxiety, the depression, the shame, the embarrassment of knowing that you were that guy, you know, you were that crackhead, you were that bloke selling bacon and cheese and that sort of thing. And that's when the real battle starts. You know, you've got through your first little battle, now then the next one starts, the mental battle, getting back into the public eye, talking to people again. See, I still struggle with that now. And that's why I talk about anxiety, depression, because I've got really bad anxiety. And anybody who's seen me in the street will tell you, that's probably because I went bright red when they were talking to me. I can't help it. You know, that's what anxiety is. I couldn't go into shops. I couldn't really function at all. And it's only over time where I've started going out more and I'm getting better at talking to people, and then I have mood swings. You know, 1 minute I'm high as a kite, buzzing, the next minute I'm fixing to throw myself off a building, and you know, and then I'll see someone from my past, or I'll catch a smell of something what reminds me of foil or crack, and it's all these fucking feelings, all these depression, all these mental problems. Then you've got your physical problems from the years of doing drugs, you know, or your especially if you're a needle user. I've never used needles, but people that do use needles destroy the body. You know, they end up losing legs and arms, and it's a horrible. It's such a hard thing to beat, you know. But anyway, that's what brings us to today, and that's why I made this channel, so I could talk about it, and I don't get paid for it. I don't ask anything from anyone, but people support me. People see what I'm doing and they appreciate it, and people seem to enjoy it, and they get satisfaction, they get an understanding, and it's interesting as well. And I do little bits like arguing with people online for a bit of a laugh, because I do like making funny videos. But make no mistake, my main passion is with addiction and recovery, because I know what it's like. I've been there. I've slept in abandoned buildings. I've spent half my life in prison. I've lived on the streets, and because of all that, it's hard to be in public. Like, you know, normal people will talk about stuff, and I feel like I can't relate. Like, if you throw me in a prison or throw me on the streets with the bums and the junkies and the winos, then I'll sit and talk for hours. But you put me in a room with people, normal, hard-working people, and it feels like I'm lost. You know, I have to find a way to communicate with them, even though I've got nothing in common. But it's all learning, you know, it's all building. It's a work in progress, and I am getting better. I'm still in recovery, but I'm getting there day by day, one day at a time, as they say. But anyway, that's the video for today. So if you know anyone who's struggling, I hope you get a better understanding of what they have to go through, you know, on a regular basis, on a daily basis. It's a tough life, it's a horrible life, but you know, if you know someone that's going through it, and maybe you're going through it yourself, you feel like you can't get clean. If I can get clean doing it cold turkey from all that, then you can, you know. If I can do it, you can do it. If you like this video, press the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Bonjour.